Good evening, everyone. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for being here with us today. It is my absolute honor to welcome our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Shuvojit Nath. He is an alumnus of the 2017 batch of Civil Engineering from NIT Durgapur. Currently, he is pursuing a joint PhD in Civil Engineering from Monash University, Australia and IIT Bombay. Alongside his PhD, he serves as a teaching assistant at IIT Bombay. He also holds a master's degree in hydroscience and engineering from Technische Universität Dresden, Germany. He has made significant contributions as a senior research assistant at UNU Flores and as a former teacher at SIPSEM TU Dresden, Germany. His achievements extend far and wide. During this session, he will generously share his valuable experiences and insights on preparing for higher studies, including his journey from NIT Durgapur to Germany and Australia. Without further ado, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Shuvojit Nath and kindly request him to take over the session. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for this invite. Uh, uh, Let me share my presentation.
Yes.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. As mentioned, I am Shuvojit Nath, a first-year PhD student at Monash University and IIT Bombay. I was really shocked to get this invite because I don't feel that I am qualified enough for this talk because I am still too early in my career. But I would never let such an opportunity to talk to students from my alma mater go by. I was a bit busy this week with my qualifiers, but I have prepared a short presentation here in which I would go through my academic journey till now. And in the end, I will talk a little bit of how to apply for masters and research internships, especially in Germany. So I started my journey from NIT Durgapur. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering with first class honors in 2017. I really had a wonderful time there. Those 4 years were one of the best time of my life. So I would tell you to make the most of it, and the connections you make here would last for a lifetime. This is a photo of me in front of the old main gate. So I had done a few industry internships or training during my time there with CPWD, which is the Central Public Works Department, NHAI, the National Highways Authority of India, and also DSP, that is the Durgapur Steel Plant. So I finally got placed in L&T construction from the campus interviews, but I was reluctant to join it and wanted to go for higher education. So I started my preparation for GATE exam, and I also tried to look for other opportunities. Germany really seemed attractive for master's education, firstly because the public universities there are free, which means they have no tuition fees, and also it was at the center of Europe, both geographically and financially. So there were a lot of opportunities for me career wise and also for the traveler in me. So I started my applications for my masters and finally got into TU Dresden, which is one of the TU9 universities in Germany. TU9 is a group of top 9 technical universities in Germany, which is very similar to IITs of India, which includes other universities such as TU Munich, University of Stuttgart, RWTH Aachen, among others. So I completed my master's in hydroscience and engineering, and it was totally a different experience for me. The class was filled with students from all over the world, and the languages, the cultures you get to experience in student dorms was really awesome. And also I was doing a lot of things for the first time in my life, such as cooking or going for grocery shopping. And I would say that what I strongly felt there was that the education revolved around mostly revolved around self study. Like here in India, during my BTech at NIT Durgapur, we used to be provided with notes, which we used to read one day before the exams, and we used to ace the exams. But there, the professors will just give the overview of the topics which are to be studied, and in their slides, and maybe solve a few numericals here and there. They focused, what I felt was they focused a lot more on learning and for the motivation of it, like why are we learning that. So we used to go on a lot of study trips. So there was a study trip during my soil science lecture, where the professor took us to a nearby forested land, and showed us the different types of soil and how they are formed. And also we had a 1 week long excursion from Czech Republic to Germany in my flood risk master course, in which we started our journey from the Orlik Dam in Czech Republic, and we followed along the Elbe River and finally finished at the mouth of the Elbe River in Hamburg in Germany. And so during the courses, I felt that they focus a lot more on you learning the basic concepts, and not only about getting a good grade. Like you just mug up the answers and the vomit the next day. And so you had to dedicate a lot of time to make notes, like you had to go through the books, you had to prepare for the exams and all. During my masters, I had to work on my master thesis, obviously. And the topic I choose for my master thesis to work on was accessing different interpolation techniques for spatial water table mapping using secondary information. And I did it at Chair of Hydrology in TU Dresden. For this, I also received around 900 euros DAD scholarship to support my work. During my work, I was in constant touch with people from New Zealand, especially the Marlborough District Council, because my study area was in New Zealand. And for my study, I took the groundwater depths from the wells and tried to interpolate it using spatial interpolation techniques known as kriging, and create time varying groundwater maps. So, as this region is mainly used for the production of grapes, a lot of vineyards are present, and they are used for the production of good quality wine. So, the groundwater needed to be properly monitored, as they were the only source of irrigation. So during my masters there, I had also taken a semester gap to take up a full time internship of 6 months. So it is very common in Germany to take more than 2 years to complete a masters. So I had applied to a lot of places and finally got into United Nations University Flores, which is a research institute under United Nations, which focuses on sustainable management of environmental resources. But my association with them went longer than just the 6 months of internship. I was offered a student assistant position right after my internship. And when I graduated, that is when I completed my master's, I joined them as a senior research assistant for around 8 months on a consultancy project. And during my time there, I used to work on freshwater and groundwater monitoring using citizen science. So those of you who doesn't know what is citizen science, I can say in short that citizen science is kind of community participation in which you educate and you engage the common citizens to work for you. Like they will collect the data for you. And this is really helpful in developing countries, as you cannot have so many costly monitoring equipments employed as we can have in developed countries like in Germany and in the US. So we can use citizen science to collect the data. And so during my time there, I used to create surveys, I used to interview people from different government agencies and work with different NGOs from different continents, such as in Asia, in Ghana, and obviously in Europe. So it was really a great experience for me, and I was really excited to work with them because I could see the what I learned in classrooms being implemented at the ground levels. So during my association with that UNU Flores, I also had an opportunity to give a lecture as an expert on citizen science at SIPSEM. SIPSEM is an UNEP and UNESCO funded training program for professionals from developing countries, and they focus on topics related to environmental management, and it is conducted at TU Dresden. So it was really a great opportunity for me to like interact with so many peoples from different countries, focusing on their problems and their varied solutions and all. So it was a good experience. And as already mentioned, finally, I am a first year PhD student at Monash University and IIT Bombay. So Monash is one of the like top ranked universities in Australia, and it is a part of a group of 8 in Australia, which is the group of top 8 research universities in Australia. So now this is a joint degree PhD program which is conducted by IITB Monash Research Academy, which is part of an Indian Australian research partnership. So in this program, I have to complete my work within 4 years. That is, I will have 4 years of scholarship, 3 years of which I will be here at IIT Bombay, which I am currently now, and 1 year I will be spent at Monash, which is in Melbourne, Australia. So currently I'm working on remote sensing of precipitation and soil moisture, which is completely different from what I used to work on before. Remote sensing basically, I can summarize in one line that it revolves around the science of collecting and processing information collected from a distance. That is, without interacting with it, we will be collecting the data. So, for example, from satellites, we measure the precipitation, we can measure soil moisture, we can measure the land surface temperature. So, this is remote sensing in short. So I had a great experience, like I'm currently having a great experience learning new concepts, and I'm looking forward to the challenges it brings. I just have finished my qualifiers, which were this week. This Thursday, I had my qualifiers, and I have successfully qualified for it, and I can now register for the PhD program. And like these are some of the pictures from I recently attended an international soil moisture school, and in which I got an opportunity to interact with many experts from NASA, from Europe, and from Australia, who are experts on the topic of soil moisture. And left is the picture of me with my Australian supervisor, Professor Jeff Walker. And he is one of the leading scientists in soil moisture in Australia and also all over the world. So these are some of my publications till date. I am still very new to this field and still trying to learn the art of academic writing. I can give you a few tips on how to write journal articles, or how to choose a proper journal article for it. So before starting to write a journal article, you should have proper preparation. That is, you should thoroughly do your literature review related to your topic, and you have to ensure that you have a firm grasp on the subject and its context. And this preparation will also help you to identify the gaps, that is the research gaps in the existing literature, and you can work on those research gaps. So the basic structure of a academic paper, if you have gone through one, is that there will be an abstract in the beginning, then there will be an introduction, then literature review, then the methodology which you have followed in your experiments, then finally there will be results, discussion, and conclusion. And these are the main sections of a journal paper, and each section serves a unique purpose, and it should be clearly defined. That is, one section should not overlap with the another section. And also you should make sure that your writing is clear and concise. That is, the people who are also not from this background, like the one you are working on, they should be able to grasp some ideas by reading your paper. And also you should keep in mind that referencing and citations is very important. Like always you should cite your sources correctly using the different citation styles. Like different journals, they follow different styles. Like some will follow the MLA style, or some will follow the Chicago style. So you have to go through the journal, like what are the requirements, and you can follow that style for citation. And if you don't cite the sources of your ideas, or of your theory properly, then it might lead allegations of plagiarism, which is not good for a researcher when you are just starting. And also, when you have completed your first draft, you should always revise your paper multiple times. Like you should always check for errors. You should always check for grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, or punctuation marks. And maybe you can also give your paper to your supervisor or your colleague in your lab for proofreading, so that to catch any mistakes which you have missed. And on choosing like the proper journal which you have to submit your paper, so you can keep a few things in mind, such as the scope and the audience of the journal. That is, you have your paper, when you make sure you choose the journal, you make sure that your paper fits within that journal subject area, and the audience of that journal would find your work interesting and relevant. And also you should keep in mind about the reputation of the journal, and that is the impact factor. That is, you should always choose a reputed journal with a higher impact factor, so that your work will be noticed more by more people, and so that your work will be more influential in the field. And currently there are many discussions about the types of journal. Like there are two kinds of journal: one is subscription based and one is open access. The open access is that the authors, for example, if you are writing the paper and you submit to an open access journal, you have to pay all the article processing fees, which is quite huge for Indian context. Like it will be around 2,000 to $3,000 or euros. But the subscription based is like the subscribers only will be able to read your articles, but you can publish them for free. Such as IIT Bombay has subscribed to a lot many journals. So if you subscribe like if you publish an article in those journals, so the people all over from IIT Bombay, they can read those articles. And also it is important to keep in mind the time for publication. Like some journals, they take really long time, like more than 1 to 1.5 years to get your work published. And I think that you should try to avoid those journals, because you want to get your work out as soon as possible, so that more and more people can know about your work, and you can have a lot of collaborations with them if needed. So this is all about journal papers. Another thing which you should keep in mind is the conferences. Because conferences is the you always want to grow your network, because you are working in a lab here in IIT Bombay or in Germany or in Australia, and you want to know what people from similar background are working on, so that to increase your networking, meet new people working in your area. So the important thing is conferences. So these are the few conferences which I have attended along with my other project collaborators. And I can state a few important things which you should keep in mind while choosing like conferences to attend. So the first thing would be the relevance. Obviously, the first and foremost factor is relevance. So if a conference is in your area of interest or expertise, you should choose those conference only. Like you can go through the topics to be discussed there, the profiles of the speakers, like what they're currently working on, or what the presentations will be in the conferences. So this will ensure that attending the conference will provide value to your career. And another is the networking opportunities. Like you can go through the details of the conferences, like will there be any workshops, or there will be discussion forums, or like social events, like there are some group activities, or sometimes dinner together, which will increase your networking opportunities. So you can have a look into that. And the final thing you should always keep in mind is the cost and location, obviously. So because the conferences are held all over the world, and you have to like register for the conference, then you have to travel there, then you have to stay there for the accommodation, and you are spending your time away from your work here, and you have other responsibilities also here, so which you are going there for the conference, and like sort of postponing them. So and also there will be visa requirements also, like if we are going to US or Europe. So so you should also keep in mind the cost and the location. And in recent years, like general like from the COVID, there are a lot of virtual conferences now, so that you can just join the link through Zoom and just have a discussion from the comfort of your home and in your office. And this has been a really like affordable and accessible option nowadays. And also you should look at the reputation of the conferences, like who is organizing those conferences. Like if it is organized by some well-known scientific institution or some universities, then like these criteria will help you a bit to choose the best conferences for your study. So finally, I would like to talk a bit about how to apply for the masters and research internships. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. So for masters, you need to first search the university and the program you want to apply for. For this, you can use the master database, which is provided by the DAD. DAD is the German Academic Exchange Service. So after shortlisting the university and the course you want to apply for, you can like go through their admission criterias and the deadlines to follow. And they will generally have like English requirements from TOEFL or IELTS. Some have GRE requirements, and you can go through all the details in their websites or in different portals. So for research internships, there are two options, I would say. The first is through any research program, such as DAD has research internship program for Germany, and MyTax has similarly for Canada. And some research institutions also have their own research internship program, which you can apply for. But you should keep in mind that most of these programs are very competitive, and you need to prepare to that level, and it is very difficult to get into. And the second option to get an research internship will be obviously to approach the professors or the researchers from different universities or research institutions by emailing them. Like you can send your interests, like you are currently working on this, and he is also currently working on similar area, and you are interested in that. You can send your statement of purpose, you can send your resumes or CVs to them. And you should actually like apply to a lot of professors, like email to a lot of professors and researchers, because most of them are busy, and I think maximum of them will ignore your emails. So the more you apply, so it increases the chances of you getting a reply for them. And thanks to all of you for patiently listening to me. And if anyone of you has any questions, you can ask them now. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, Somudeep,
Hello, I'm audible now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So first question is, what do universities in Germany generally look for while selecting candidates?
Especially, it depends upon the program. I would say, like when you go through I showed you a master database from DAD, so you can put the keywords like the programs you want to apply for, like data science or like engineering, mechanical, automobile. So when you go through them, it will show you a list of universities and programs which are currently available. So when you go through them, there will be an admission requirements, like some will have written exams and some might have interviews, or some might directly shortlist on the best of your SOPs and CVs you have sent. So it varies from university to university. And a few universities also look for work experience. Like the program I applied for, they had a scholarship, the DAD scholarship. Like my program would be fully funded, and it required minimum of 2 years work experience, which I lacked then. So there are a lot of factors, and I would say that it also depends upon your profile. Like if your profile is closely related to the program you are applying for, like you have worked in data science for a year or a year and a half, then your chances of getting into a master's in data science would be really high.
Sir, the second question is, what time is the best time to apply to universities for higher education?
The best time would be like, are you asking for the Germany or overall?
Uh, Sir, in general, you can answer in general.
Like most of the universities all around the world, they have two intakes. One is the summer or the spring intake, and another will be the winter or the autumn intake. So generally, it the process starts almost 1 year. Like there are many fully funded like scholarship programs, and the process, like if you want to get into a program in autumn 2023, then you have to start all your process from 1 year before, like autumn 2022 you have to start. Like you have to prepare for the exams, that is the English exams, TOEFL or IELTS, and if required you have to give your GRE, then you have to go through, you apply it. And the fully funded programs will generally have interviews and all. But if you are going for like self-funded, like if you are sponsoring yourself, then I think for the autumn session, the process starts from January. That year, January, February, the admissions will be open, and you can find all the deadlines and all on the websites only. You can find it.
Okay. Answer the next question. What are the essential skills or softwares that one should learn in the field of civil engineering in order to stay relevant in the field of civil engineering?
This is a very difficult question because what I have felt, like I have worked in like different sectors in civil engineering. Civil engineering is a quite a vast subject. Like from structures, you have transportation, then water resources, then surveying. So I have worked in construction for a bit, and I have also worked in water resources. Then I have moved my focus now to hydrology and surveying, which is the remote sensing, which under which the remote sensing comes in. So, in which sector you mean the softwares?
Sir, specifically, if someone is interested in research.
Research also, it depends upon the sectors, right? Main thing I would say that you should be quite comfortable with coding, because programming is an important part, like Python or MATLAB, and you should be able to use the statistics programs like RStudio, because During research, you will be creating a lot of graphs and a lot of plots. You will be data handling a lot. So these are the few basic programs, I would say, and then it depends upon the field you are working on. Suppose if you are working in water resources, then you should know about the different models and different softwares which handle the water resource like modeling, such as HECRAS or Mike 11. And if you are working with remote sensing, then you should be able to use Google Earth Engine and like GIS software such as ArcGIS, QGIS, and also ADAS Imagine, which is like the image processing software. So it depends upon the field of research also.
Okay, sir. Sir, how is the grading system at Dresden?
Grading system, you mean the German grading system?
Yes, sir.
The German grading system, actually, they grade you on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1.0 is the highest grade you can get, and 4.0 is the pass grade, and 5.0 is fail. So I can, like, I don't have it now. So you can Google it, like German grading system. So they will show you like different categories to like 1 to 1.7 is very good, then 1.7 to 2.2 is good, then 2.2 to 3 is satisfactory. So this is the German grading system.
Okay, sir. If anyone else have any questions, they can ask.
Hey, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am Nasir from, you can say, like, means I will be entering the final year here at the civil engineering department just after this summer vacation. So this is very nice to hear you, like, means your journey seems quite incredible and so much smooth, isn't it?
It wasn't that smooth, I would say. Like I had a lot of things here and there, but it's okay still now. Let's see. Like I have a long way to go. I'm still early in my career.
Yeah, we are also means we are also means praying for that. And sir, means bhai, actually, I wanted to ask like when you were in the BTech days, so did you have any interest, any research interest that you'll be doing some research in the water resource department, anything like that, or you just went like means I have to go to research and do means just check what things I just explore more and I just grab more. What were the thing like when you were in BTech?
Like during my time in NIT Durgapur, we didn't have such an opportunity like here. Like we can talk to our alumni and all. Like there were a few alumni interaction, but it was not specific for civil. And during my time in BTech, I had no plans of doing a PhD. Like I'm saying that honestly, I had no plans of doing a PhD. That's why I did the internship in industry, and I wanted to work but not in construction industry. I wanted to work in water resources, so I focused on water resources. Like the TU Dresden, the degree in water resources is really good, and you will get a lot of exposure there. Like the and so I went for that, and currently I'm also involved in hydrology. Like so it's kind of using remote sensing, but the basic concepts and the science will be from hydrology. So the in research interest in me it developed with time, like with my time in Germany and my research internship there. The ability of my interest in water resources is slowly developed with time. I did not have that much interest in research in BTech, I would say.
Thank you so much, sir, for your response. I just got the idea, like how it feels and how it, like I am going through the same case right now. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, my name is Amanjyoti Malik, and I am a student of electrical engineering, and I am an upcoming third year at NIT Durgapur. Sir,
Okay.
my first question to you is, sir, do we need to learn German in order to get into a German university? And if yes, then what is the degree or what is the level to which we need to learn German?
Like there are two kinds of master courses. One is totally in English and other will be in German. Like most of the German universities, they have maximum of their courses in German. Like all the bachelor's degree are in German. There will be, I'm talking about public universities here. Okay. The top ranked
Okay, sir.
public universities and where and I'm not talking about the private universities because there are a few private universities which offer bachelor's and master's. Everything will be in English, but the top public universities, they will have all the bachelor's degree in German, and most of the master's degree also will be in German, and there will be a very few international master's program which will be in English. To get admit into the English programs, you don't need any German level. You don't need anything. But to get into the German master's program, so if you want to settle down in Germany or if you want to work in industry in Germany, so obviously you need to be fluent in German. And a German master's would be really helpful for you in that. So you need at least B2 to C1 level of German.
That's really great to know, sir. Sir, we will be keen to know what was your area of study during the masters. What was your area of focus?
I did my master's in hydroscience and engineering. So, it is a department under environmental science under civil engineering. So it focuses on water resources basically and hydrology.
That's great, sir. Sir, what's your current research focus area?
I am currently working in remote sensing using concepts from hydrology. I will be monitoring precipitation and soil moisture from satellites. Like there are a lot of satellites from NASA and ESA, that is the European Space Agency, and also JAXA, that is the Japan Space Agency. So they have a lot of satellites in space and they constantly monitor the precipitation and soil moisture from space. So but there are a lot of errors in the data they produce. So the main focus of my research will be try to integrate the science I have learned from like water resources and hydrology background and try to improve the data which they collect so that it will be further used for modeling, hydrological modeling, like for flood prediction and those cases, so it will be used.
That's really impressive, sir. Sir, coming to the next question. Sir, what do you think? Should we prepare for this is for some civil engineering students? Should one prepare for the civil gate alongside applying to foreign universities? Or is it better if we stay one track and if we have one goal in specific?
It depends upon the student, if he wants to because preparing for a gate in civil engineering especially, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort. And if you want to if you so I would suggest that if they want to apply in India, they can like spend their time in preparing for gate and all. But if they want to apply for foreign universities, they should have time for that, because they will also have a lot of interviews and all, and you have to prepare for GRE, and you also have to prepare for the English exam, the TOEFL or IELTS, because we are from India, which is not a native English speaking country, so they require a good score or in TOEFL and IELTS.
Okay, sir. So basically, it's completely subjective and depends on the student.
Exactly, I would say, yeah.
Okay. And sir, coming to my last question, what is the student culture and student environment like in Germany?
I used to stay in student dorms during my masters in Germany. So you can find people from all over the world, like from Latin America, from there were a few students from United States even, because the education in United States is quite costly, and they come over to Germany because it's quite cheaper there. And there will be a lot of people from Asia, you will have people from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, and it is a really vibrant culture, I would say. There will be a lot of events, a lot of things going on. During my time there was a kind of a party. Like every month there will be a party, and in that party one country will take the charge. Like for this month the Indians, they will have a party, and the other people from all over the world, they can come. They will have the Indian food, the Indian music, the Indian dance. So you can experience like different countries in those parties. So I felt that was a really good initiative.
So, sir, we will have a very good cultural, kind of a very good exposure to various cultures over there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it will broaden up your mind also, because when we are staying with like our own kind of people, we are having like I think our thought will be limited in one direction. But when we see the people from different cultures, try different foods, you explore different places, and you meet people from different backgrounds, and then you will get to know a lot about this world, and maybe it will help you a lot in improving yourself also.
Okay, sir. Sir, are the people welcoming over there?
You mean the locals?
Yes, I mean the locals.
Yeah, it depends actually. The young people are very friendly, like the university students and the young people you meet. One thing I faced in Germany, like in Dresden especially, like many people were reluctant to speak in English because they were not that good in English. Like if you are going to supermarket, or if you are going to some malls to buy something, so you should know the basic German to get those things. But I never had any incident of that kind, which which you mostly see in news and all. I would be fortunate, I would say. Like I know a few people who have been through that. So it really depends, and yeah, I would say.
Thank you, sir. That's all from my end.
Okay, thank you.
If anyone else has any question, they can ask.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Shomi Ghosh. I am currently pursuing chemical engineering in NIT Durgapur. So, my first question to you would be can we get a job in Europe if we pass out of a German technical college?
Yeah, definitely. But one thing you should keep in mind that they don't have placements as we have in India. So you should be always open to apply. And one thing I have noticed there, they don't see the university which you are graduating from. Like you are graduating from the top university in Germany, that is at TU Munich, and someone who is graduating from a very small college like University of Applied Sciences somewhere. So they won't see your degree, they would see your skill, like in what topics you have worked on, or what is your experience and what is your skills. So I would tell that is an important thing. And another important thing would be your language. Like you mentioned Europe in your question, right?
Yes, sir.
So in Europe, like all the different countries, they prefer their own languages, first of all. Like in Germany, they would prefer German. In France, they would prefer French. In Italy, they would prefer Italian. So if you want to work in a multinational company, like in IT sector, that won't be a problem. The language won't be a problem. But if you are working in as in my case in water resources, which would be involved with the local governments and local people, so you should be have a good grasp of the local language also to get a good job there.
Okay, sir. So, any particular college professors that we could, like civil engineer students, can contact for the further education?
It depends upon your area of interest, right?
Okay, sir.
So you can Google them, and like what is your area of interest, the structures or transportation or water resources. So you can check those, like who are working there, in which universities, in which areas. Then you can approach them, and yeah, that would be the first step to start.
Okay, sir. So, what kind of scholarships are available for students at the Technische University, and what are the criteria for availing them?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this. Like in my program, there was a fully funded DAD scholarship available, the EPOS
Yes.
scholarship, funded by DAD. but they had a requirement of 2 years work experience, which I didn't have. So I could not apply for that, but I applied for the study continuation something scholarship, that is for dad. So for my master thesis, I got around 900 euros for that.
Okay,
So
sir.
you need to go through like different programs because the EPOS scholarship was for the environmental sciences programs. So different programs will have different DAD scholarships, and they can ask for work experience, and they can like those. There will be interviews. Like they will first shortlist based upon your CV, like your profile. After shortlisting, there will be an interview round. Then, if you are selected, then you will get fully funded scholarship. And I can mention here there is another program that is by European Union, that is the Erasmus Mundus program. You can go through that.
Okay, sir.
Erasmus Mundus program is actually a program taken up by 2-3 universities of different countries. So there was one of my juniors. He was from NIT Hamirpur, I guess. Yeah, NIT Hamirpur, and he did that masters in flood risk. So his first semester was in Netherlands in TU Delft, and his second semester was with me in TU Dresden. And for the third semester, he moved to Barcelona. It was I don't remember the university. It was some university in Barcelona, and currently he is pursuing his PhD in Rouen, that is in France. So
Okay.
Erasmus Mundus programs are also like fully funded programs. Like you will get the full scholarship and all. So there is a similar process for that. Like you need to apply 1 year before that, and there will be a shortlisting and interview process and all.
Okay, sir. So national scholarships are also available, I guess.
National scholarships from India to study in
Yes, sir.
Germany.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
uh,
Any kind.
there might be a few, like in, I am not sure, like you can check
Okay,
them.
sir.
For
Okay.
US, there are a few, I know this. Like it is between India, US understanding they have, like there are a few exchange programs and all. And there is a dad sandwich program, but that is for IIT students only. Like they can spend one semester in any of the TUs from IIT. And
Okay.
national scholarship, I'm not quite sure. Like for Germany, you can check them, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, and so how did you come to know about your current PhD program? Like,
The ITB Monash, you mean?
yeah, sir.
I think I was just going through a few websites when I was applying. Like I had come to India for a break after I was working in the United Nations Florist from home. I had come to India after 2.5 years. Then I was applying a lot of places for PhD, like Switzerland and Netherlands, and also, and it was really difficult to get funding for my PhD. So I applied in India to two places, IC Bangalore and this ITB Monash program, because it felt attractive. Like you would be going for a year in Australia, and you would also have a collaborator from Australia, which is really helpful. I found it through some web portals, I guess. LinkedIn, I guess. I don't remember. And they had a very tedious process. Like they had 4 rounds of interview, and they had a written exam. Then they had final like communication skill interview. They had. Then finally, I got into this program.
Okay, sir. So, and my last question would be please tell like more about like the hydro science and engineering which you are doing right now.
The hydroscience and engineering program, you mean,
Yes, sir.
at U Dresden?
Yes, sir.
It is basically under environment sciences division, and they have a lot of like focus areas like hydrology, meteorology, and urban water. In urban water, they also have the sewage treatment and all. Then another section is circular economy, which you must be aware of. Like you are reusing the resources for different manner. So there are a lot of sections, and each section will have different courses, and there will be a many elective courses. So first semester you will have some compulsory courses like hydrology and statistics, And what I had, I don't remember. Yeah, I think basic engineering courses you will have. Then second and third semester, you have to choose like in which area you want to focus on. Like if you want to focus on urban water, you can take up those courses. Or if you want to focus on hydrology, meteorology, you can take up those courses. Or if you want to focus on like there are a few courses from the chemistry department also which you can take. So it depends upon your interest, because the students in hydroscience and engineering were quite varied. Like most of them were for civil engineering, and a few were from environmental engineering. But we had students from chemical also, chemical, and a few were from mechanical. Like it was quite varied.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, on which projects you are currently working on in IIT Bombay?
I'm currently working on my PhD project, which focuses on remote sensing, and there are a few other consultancy projects under my supervisor. Those focus with the remote sensing, basically, like remote sensing, and there are a few projects in which we have to do mapping of rivers and all, like using drones and UAV. So those are a few consultancy projects, and besides that, I am also doing teaching assistant duties here. Like we have to take the labs of BTech students, and we have to
Yeah.
conduct their exams and all. So
Yeah, and how did you choose between your research and industry? Like on which domain you were interested? How did you choose that?
how did I choose my interest in research?
Yeah, means how did you choose between industry and research?
I was more interested in water resources, because I had got the job in electric construction, and I was not I was not very ready to like spend in construction, because they have a very harsh kind of life, from what I heard, and I wanted to focus on water resources. And then I heard of this course, and I applied for it, and I got it. Then during that course and during the research internship, my interest in water resources, it developed a lot, and I worked on a lot of projects there. Most of the projects were by United Nations funded, and I got to know about the problems which are faced by the countries in Asia and Europe, Europe, and also in Africa. And it developed my research interest. Like my interest in research, it developed with time. Like it developed gradually. I had not that much interest in research during my BTech days.
Okay, sir. Sir, in which areas in civil engineering it is experiencing a high growth? Means which are the trending areas in civil engineering right now?
That would be a difficult question to answer. Like people are working in all the sectors, I would say. Like we have, I know someone who is working in structures. He's working on like concrete, and I know someone who is working in pavement design and all in transportation. And I know many people from remote sensing and all who are working on the remote sensing is basically a part of surveying in IT Bombay. But we work on hydrology and meteorology and some related problems to water resources. So it is, and also there is a part of climate studies also. So there is a different center here for climate studies, and there are a lot of remote sensing and hydrology work going on there. So I would say I can't say like any specific discipline which
Okay.
is looking at me.
And sir, one last question. What are your future plans after the PhD?
I'm still in my early stage in my research, so I would try to finish my PhD as soon as possible, and then I would try for postdoc research positions, maybe in US or in Europe somewhere. Then it would be a good experience. Like if I want to come back to India and get a professor position, so postdoc will be really helpful for that.
Okay, sir. Sir, so if anyone have any other questions, then you can ask right now. If anyone have any questions to ask, then you can ask right now.
Sir, I have one more question to ask. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Like, how do you see yourself? Like, you did not have any industrial experience right after your BTech. You directly joined the research program, and you just go further in the academics only without any real industrial experience, without any formal kind of job. How do you see? Like, any kind of drawback or all good?
It depends upon you actually. Like, if you want to stay in industry, there are a lot of people who like work on industry related projects in PhD also. So, like, after your experience in industry, you come across some problem which you can solve. Then you can take up that as a project in a PhD, and you can work for that. And your company will fund for that PhD, and eventually you can set up your own company also, like startups with your new research ideas, like which we have found. So in my case, I didn't feel like industry experience, like lack of industry experience was a drawback, because I was always involved in research, and after my masters also I was working in different research projects. So I never felt that the industry experience was a like disadvantage, the lack of it.
Okay, sir. So,
Thanks. Thank you so much.
are there any more questions from the audience? Then you can ask right now.
Sir, hello, sir. I have a
Yeah,
question that, sir, what is the right time to go for the internship? Which in this year we should go?
you are in a BTech, right?
Yes, sir. So first year,
You are in.
the BTech first year.
I think the right time would be after second year, because you would have, or after fifth semester, like you would say. Because you need to have a proper knowledge of your stream, like in which stream you are studying, and what are your research interests, and it also depends upon what kind of industry, like internship you want. Either it will be an industry oriented or a research oriented, and research oriented internship will be more upon your interest. So I think fifth semester will be a good time. I think NIT Durgapur offers internship in fifth semester, right?
Yeah, on on-campus placements, the internship is after the sixth semester, means in the summer break.
Yes, yes. We had some trainings after fifth semester, and there will be, yeah, after.
Yeah, people can do winter internships during the winter break if they want to.
But I think like after second year, it will be good opportunity to start, because when you have a good knowledge of your field and your background.
Yeah. So, are there
Okay,
any
sir.
more questions? If anyone have any more questions that you can ask right now. Okay. So there are no more questions. So we feel extremely privileged to have Mr. Shuvojit Nath sir with us today. This session has provided us with exceptional learning opportunities, and we are truly grateful to you, sir. On behalf of the Students Alumni Interaction Cell, I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation. We have a small token of appreciation for you, and I would like to request Somadip to present that. Somadip,
Yes, sir. On behalf of Student Alumni International Cell, please accept this from us.
Thank you. It was
Thank you, sir.
really great interacting with you all. Like, it has been some time since I have been in NIT Durgapur. Like, I last visited in 2018 to receive my degree. So yeah, it was really great interacting with you, and thank you for the invite.
yes, sir. We have also learned a lot from you, and we will also send that certificate of appreciation through mail to
Yeah,
your mail ID.
thank you.
Yeah, and once again, we extend our sincere thanks to Mr. Sojit sir for sharing his knowledge and experiences with us. We wish you the very best in all your future endeavors, and we eagerly look forward to more learning opportunities from you in future.
Sure.
I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants for joining us today and for contributing to the success of this session. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. So, thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful weekend. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This